Hey guys, good afternoon. It's Miss Birds here, and today we are going to be talking about observational drawing. Now, observational drawing is basically when you just draw something that you see either in real life, or maybe you have a picture that you're referring to and you are observing the picture as you draw it on another piece of paper. Okay, now when we talk about observational drawing, we're looking at two types of drawing lines. Okay, so we're looking at either gesture lines or contour lines. And gesture lines are pretty much drawn very quickly. They're used to lay out kind of just the structure of whatever form or object that you're drawing. Okay, whereas contour lines pretty much describe the edges and the shapes of whatever object or form that you're looking at. Okay, so today we're going to be creating a contour line drawing of our hand. Okay, so I'm going to choose my left hand because of course my right hand is dominant, so that's the one that I'm going to be drawing with. And eventually we're going to put a lot of detail into the hand. This one has a little bit more detail into it, but the one that we're going to be drawing today will look something like this. Okay, now it's going to look a little messy at first, and that's okay because that's kind of just the nature of the drawing. And eventually, as we develop and we go through a couple more stages, we'll go through and we'll add detail and shading later. Okay, but the first thing that we want to recognize is just how to observe something in real life and draw it as we see it. A lot of the problems is people draw things the way they think that they should look, but they're not actually looking at something and drawing it as they see it. They draw it as they think it's supposed to look, right? So we want to just get the practice of being able to look at something and then draw it as we see it, okay? Now, the most important part when we're looking at this contour drawing is to mainly focus on the hand, okay? Don't focus so much on the lines that are going on the paper. We're going to go back and we're going to fix them or we're going to alter them. But the important thing that you remember is that your contour drawing is really just the first drawing, okay? We're going to go back, we're going to add more to it. So it's going to look a little messy at first, and that's okay, right? The important thing is you should be keeping your eye on your hand, okay? Not your paper, but your hand. I know it's going to be a little bit difficult to do that because we're so prone to just looking at what we're drawing and wanting to fix it right away. But the important thing is that we're learning how to just observe, okay? So I'm going to draw my hand, and I like to spread my fingers out just a little bit so there's a little space in between them. You can set up your hand however you'd like. I'm going to go down just below where my wrist is. I'm not going to do my whole arm, and I'm going to focus again mainly on the hand. When I draw my hands, I always like to start from this first knuckle. It's just a good reference point, so that's where I'm going to start. So again, I'm going to make sure I'm focusing on my hand and not my paper, what I'm drawing, and I'm just going to go through and kind of begin. Okay, so as I'm looking at my hand, I'm drawing where I believe that the lines are kind of stopping. So of course it's going to be nature to want to look at your hand, right, as you're going, or to look at your paper as you're going through. But of course we want to make sure that we're staying right on target with just drawing our hand, okay, drawing the fingers, drawing the lines as we see them, not as we think that they should look. Okay, now again, it may get a little busy. Okay, you may not like the way it looks at first, but it's okay because it's just the first drawing, right? We're not going to stay with this drawing. It's not going to look like this forever, okay? But we're just getting a general idea of the shape of our hand, okay? What does this form actually look like? How are the fingers interacting next to each other, right? So I'm just going through and drawing the contour. Again, it's probably going to look a little messy, right? And not the way that we want it to look at first, but that's fine. We're just going to go through and draw what we see. Okay, not what we think we see, but what we actually see. And I'm going to go down just a little bit here where my wrist should be. All right, so there we go. That is my contour drawing, okay? So just leave it like this, okay, because this is the first step. Again, we'll go through and we'll talk about how to get in the details of the knuckles, okay, all of those little small lines, and we'll go through how to put in some shading in. But for today, I just want you to focus on the observational drawing of just doing the contour line, okay? Focus on just looking at your hand and not your paper. Okay, again, it may look a little messy. It doesn't look perfect and it's not going to. But again, that's just the nature of the drawing itself. Okay, so your assignment today is to draw a contour of your hand. Okay, and then we'll be visiting this hand again for our next assignment.